mission of St. Mary's Catholic High School is to provide a liberal arts education that forms virtuous young men and women who know the truth and love the good. An essential aspect of the mission of St. Mary's High School is virtue formation. And what that means is that we're trying to help form young men and women to be able to seek the truth and to love the good, to love what they encounter in the truth. This is important because we were made a particular way, right? St. Augustine famously said, "Our hearts are restless until they rest in you." He wrote that as a prayer to God. And so we know that there's a deep desire in our hearts for God, right? There's a longing in us that God placed in our hearts. It's a longing to know God and to love Him. And we cannot really be happy, we cannot be satisfied until we know the truth and then until we love the good. And so when we talk about virtue formation, what we mean is that we're preparing young men and women for happiness. We're preparing them to be able to live their lives in such a way that they're able to seek the truth, they're able to recognize the truth when they find it, and their hearts are really directed towards loving the good, loving God. Another important aspect of the mission of St. Mary's High School is to provide a liberal arts education. Liberal arts education seeks to do, well, just that, seeks to liberate young men and women. Pope Pius XI he wrote an encyclical on Christian education in 1939, in which he said that any authentic educational system has to take into account man's fallen nature. Because of original sin, we're born, in a sense, broken a little bit. Right? Our powers don't work the way they should. Our intellect is a little bit hampered. It's difficult for us to know the truth, and we're easily led astray. Our wills are weak. We often don't desire what we should, or we don't have the courage to pursue those desires. And our passions, our appetites, are sometimes a little bit too strong, sometimes misdirected. Because of our fallenness, because of our human weaknesses, because of original sin, we can actually become a little bit enslaved. We're not free to be fully who we are. It's difficult for us to live a fully human life. A liberal arts education then seeks to form young men and women for freedom. It seeks to form and to shape those powers to be directed towards what's true and what's good, thus setting us free to live a fully human life. That's why the work of Catholic education is so tied up with preparing young men and women to be able to live their lives in such a way that they can seek happiness both in this world and in the next. And that happiness consists in nothing other than knowing and loving God.